Everyone tells you to start investing immediately, anywhere you can, but the truth is, where you invest matters infinitely more than when. Put your $200 monthly into the wrong account first, and you'll lose almost $287,000 to taxes over 3 decades, even though a simple switch could have saved it all. This is for education, not financial advice, but the math we are about to walk through is real, and it is going to change the way you think about every dollar you put away. Most people hear the word retirement account and immediately picture the 401k. The one your employer promotes, your parents mentioned, with the company match sitting right there on the table. The match is real money, free money, so it feels obvious. Max the 401k first, worry about everything else later. But here is the problem with obvious. Obvious does not run the numbers. Meet Jordan, 35 years old, earning $75,000 a year, with exactly $200 a month to invest beyond the bills. Jordan's employer offers a high-deductible health plan paired with a health savings account and a 401k with a 4% company match. The one Jordan picks will determine whether retirement looks comfortable or quietly stressed. The 401k match argument is genuinely compelling. If Jordan's employer matches 4% on a $75,000 salary, that is $3,000 of free money per year. A 100% instant return on that contribution, before any market gains at all. On paper, no investment on earth can beat a 100% day one return, and that is why the standard advice says, always capture the match first, full stop. But here is the part nobody talks about, because the match story is only half the math. The 401k is what most people call tax advantaged, and it genuinely is. You contribute pre-tax dollars today. The money grows without being taxed along the way, and then you pay ordinary income tax when you pull it out in retirement. That is called a single tax advantage, one moment where the government steps aside. The HSA, meanwhile, operates on a completely different level, and most people have never stopped to think about what that actually means in dollar terms over 30 years. The 401k charges you on the way OUT. You put in a pre-tax dollar, it grows, and when you withdraw in retirement, you owe income taxes on every penny, principal, and gains alike. If you are in a 22% bracket in retirement, roughly 22 cents of every dollar you pull out disappears before it reaches your wallet. That is the hidden withdrawal tax that nobody labels clearly when you sign up. The HSA has a structure that almost sounds too good to be true, but the math doesn't lie. Contributions go in pre-tax, which is the same deduction the 401k gives you. But the growth is completely tax-free, not deferred, actually free. And when you spend the money on qualified medical expenses, the withdrawal is also tax-free. 3 layers of shelter, 0 taxation at any stage. This is the only account in the entire US tax code that works this way. Now I want to be specific about the numbers Jordan is actually working with. In 2024, the HSA contribution limit for an individual is $4,150 per year, which rounds to about $346 a month. Jordan only has $200 a month to invest, so the HSA can absorb that entire $200. And that $200 goes in completely untaxed, grows completely untaxed, and comes back out completely untaxed for medical costs. The 401k match requires Jordan to contribute to receive the employer contribution, so the sequencing question is real: which one gets the dollar first? Before I show you the turning point in this math, I have to show you the most common objection. What if Jordan actually needs that HSA money for medical bills? High-deductible plans come with real out-of-pocket costs, and $200 a month feels like it could evaporate the moment a prescription or a specialist visit arrives. And this is where most people stop thinking and just pull the trigger on the 401k, because the 401k feels permanent and the HSA feels fragile. But here is the catch that changes everything. The HSA does not require you to spend the money in the year you contribute it. There is no use it or lose it rule. That is the FSA, the flexible spending account, a completely different vehicle. The HSA rolls over every single year, compounds inside the account, and can be invested in index funds just like a brokerage account. Jordan could go 30 years without touching the balance. What about the medical bills Jordan actually faces along the way? Here is the move that reframes the entire strategy. If Jordan pays medical expenses out of pocket and saves every single receipt, Jordan can reimburse those expenses from the HSA at any point in the future, with 0 deadline. A receipt from 2024 can legally fund a withdrawal in 2054. The IRS has no statute of limitations on HSA reimbursements. Jordan is essentially building a 30-year tax-free loan against medical spending. The receipts are the collateral. If you are a salaried employee in your 30s with access to a high-deductible plan, the next 2 minutes are specifically for you, because this is where the gap between the two paths becomes undeniable. Let's run the actual math side by side. Jordan invests $200 a month starting at age 35. In the HSA-first scenario, all $200 goes into the HSA, compounding at a historically reasonable 8% annual return in a low-cost index fund inside the account. Over 30 years, $200 a month at 8% grows to approximately $298,000. Every dollar of that growth is tax-free. Every dollar Jordan pulls for medical expenses is tax-free. Now run the 401k first scenario, same $200, same 8%, same 30 years. The balance also hits roughly $298,000 before tax. But Jordan now owes income tax on withdrawal. At a conservative 22% effective rate in retirement, Jordan keeps about $233,000 in real spending power. That is a $65,000 difference from taxation alone, before we even layer in the triple advantage compounding effect of the HSA receipt strategy. By the time Jordan reaches 65, the HSA-first investor has accumulated approximately $340,000 in the HSA. Tax-free medical wealth that can also be used for any expense after age 65 with the same tax treatment as a traditional 401k. Meanwhile, the 401k first investor, who put less into the HSA early when compounding mattered most, ends up with only about $53,000 in their HSA and still owes taxes on 401k withdrawals. The gap between those two investors is $287,000 in after-tax wealth. That is not a typo. That is the cost of following conventional wisdom without running the math yourself. And here is the part that makes the 401k crowd uncomfortable. The HSA investor still captures the full 401k employer match. The winning strategy is not HSA instead of 401k. It is HSA first, then 401k to the match, then back to the HSA. The match is free money, you never leave it. But beyond the match, the next marginal dollar belongs in the HSA because after 65, any non-medical HSA withdrawal is taxed exactly like a 401k anyway, so you lose nothing, and every medical dollar you pull is completely free. Most people think of the HSA as a healthcare account. The math shows it is a stealth retirement account that also happens to cover your largest guaranteed retirement expense. Healthcare costs, which average over $315,000 per couple in retirement, according to Fidelity's 2023 benefits study. Let me show you what the two growth paths actually look like visually. The trajectories start close together in the first decade, then the after-tax gap widens dramatically in the final stretch as compound growth amplifies the tax difference. That acceleration in the back half is the entire argument for starting early and starting in the HSA. The compound is the only free lunch, and the HSA hands you a second serving nobody else gets. Watching those two lines diverge after year 20 is exactly why the sequencing decision at 35 is worth $287,000 by 65. Now let's talk about the threshold where the answer flips, because honest math includes the caveat, and this is also the most common comment section debate. If your employer does not offer a high-deductible health plan, you cannot open an HSA. Full stop. If you are in poor health and your out-of-pocket costs consistently exceed the HSA deductible by thousands, the math shifts. And if your 401k has genuinely exceptional low-cost fund options, Vanguard, Fidelity zero-expense funds, the gap narrows slightly, though it does not close. Below roughly a 4% employer match and above a 7% loan rate on other debt you are carrying, the priority order can shift. The decision is not always identical, but for the median 35-year-old with a high-deductible option and $200 a month, the HSA wins by a wide and specific margin. Most people pick the 401k first because it is the default, and I think that default is costing millions of people hundreds of thousands of dollars. Tell me in the comments, did your HR orientation even mention the HSA as an investment vehicle, or did they just say use it for copays? So here is what Monday looks like. Step 1, if your employer offers a high-deductible health plan, enroll in it and open the paired HSA. Most major banks and brokerages offer them, and Fidelity's HSA has zero account fees. Step 2, contribute to your 401k, exactly enough to capture the full employer match, not a penny more yet. Step 3, direct remaining investment dollars into the HSA, up to the annual limit. Step 4, start a folder, physical or digital, where you archive every medical receipt going forward. Do not reimburse immediately. Let those receipts compound as future tax-free withdrawals. The math doesn't lie. The order of operations on $200 a month determines whether you retire with $287,000 more, or $287,000 less in after-tax wealth. Broke is a math problem and so is rich. It is just a different set of inputs. The account nobody taught you about is the one with the biggest long-term edge, and now you have run the numbers yourself. Now go build it. See you in the next breakdown.